At Fantom Works, we make cars better than the day they rolled out. And for us, this is more than a job. Love your car as much as we do?
Wow, really came out great.
And we're gonna get along fine.
If you were a little bit cuter, I'd hug you.
Mostly. What was that? Truth is, if we have to pick between you and your car, that's an amazing amount of filth. We're not picking you.
Every car we see at Fantom Works is unique, but this is the first time I've seen a 1962 Italian supercar roll in.
Got a Maserati for you.
All right. Let's turn it loose and get it out.
That ought to be a fun one.
In '62, a Maserati was a pretty exotic car. There can't be many of these left in the world, and certainly even fewer in the United States. Pretty close. All right, should be good.
Oh, Ben.
Hi, Dan.
I'm meeting with Ben, the owner of the '62 Maserati, to figure out what he wants to do with his diamond in the rough.
Do you know how many '62 Maseratis are left with 25,000 original miles?
I would think none.
I think you might have the best preserved '62 injected Maserati left in the world. Do you have any idea what that car is worth?
The appraiser came back with about $44,000.
You want to take 44 for it?
No, sir. My dad promised me the car since I was 12 years old. And it's an extension of him. That car is priceless to me.
Yeah, and it's damn near priceless to the world. Some people made me a standing offer. If I call him today, he'll be out here in the morning with $250,000 for that car.
What?
Yes, as is.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's inconceivable to me that my dad's car could be worth that amount of money just the way it is without even running. Amazing.
There's some scratches, there's some little marks in the paint. Now, there's one part of the car that truly bothers me. That.
I agree. That then really has bothered me all these years.
Take a look at just how cracked the seats are, and you see all the mold on the back seat.
Those are his seats, and it smells exactly the same, even down to the stale cigar smoke, so it means a lot.
I think you've got really 3 options. Option 1 is do nothing with it. Don't touch it. It's a showpiece just because of the nature of the car. Option 2 is we can make this car function, but not do a full rebuild on it. Or option 3 is we gut the car to nothing and we restore it from the ground up.
I think getting it running, Dan, and doing the least that we can to it, but I want to drive it.
I'm delighted that you've chosen the survivor approach to this because I think that's exactly what's needed.
I think my father would like that.
On Ben's '62 Maserati, we're going to start with that mechanical fuel injection system, and then we're going to go through the drivetrain and steering, brakes, and suspension. Then we're going to take care of the dent on the driver's side door and restore the original lacquer paint from 1962 to keep that original look. It's both thrilling and intimidating to work on a car worth over $250,000 that doesn't even run.
I can't tell you how much it means to me to see her ready to breathe life again.
All right, Ben, I look forward to working with you on this project.
Dan, thank you.
The Maserati was originally built as a rare high-end car for the rich and powerful. Raymond and Diane own a car with much more humble origins, a '66 VW Beetle convertible. So, which one of you is the VW nut?
I am.
Okay. So,
No, I'm a VW nut, too.
We had one in '59.
Well, I was just 3 then.
oh.
Between 1959 and 1975, when my father passed, the family probably had maybe 14 Volkswagens.
You guys had a problem.
Yeah, well, he got into Volkswagens. We talked neighbors into buying Volkswagens.
So you infected her.
No.
Oh, you were a...
I have my own infection.
What is it that makes you in love with a Volkswagen?
I drove one when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
It was my getting out of the house. It was my release. I had fun in it. I just loved that little Beetle. I really felt like, whoa, this is my car. You know, I thought, I gotta take care of this. I better make sure I do this whole thing right.
This is a labor of love. I got this car for her as a Mother's Day present 4 years ago, and she's hardly been able to drive it because I bought it online out in Arizona. Guy had redone it, did a crappy job. We got it shipped back to Pittsburgh. We drove it around the block. It was all we did until my mechanic could do a few things. And it got caught up in a flood. And the car was totaled by the insurance company.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sick.
You know, stuff happens. You just deal with it. I bought it back from the insurance company, and I started tearing the carpeting, seats, everything, and it wasn't originally red. It was my favorite Volkswagen color of all time, Bahama Blue.
This car had maybe a little divine intervention.
I had the engine rebuilt. I had it soda blasted and repainted.
You've had 2 restorations and a totaling in the last 5 years of
Yes.
the same car. Why the hell are you here?
Well, the interior was never done right. The paint has started to bubble and turn different colors.
Did you drive it down here?
No, we trailered it down.
Why is that?
It wouldn't start.
We're not exactly having a string of amazing luck here.
Well, that's why we're here.
And that's why we're here,
That's why
because
we're here.
we'd like to change our luck. I want it restored to showroom condition.
So you want the car that you had when you were 17?
Yes, that experience. I want it to be pristine.
Okay.
She's waited over 4 years now to get her Mother's Day present. I want this car to be right for my wife.
That's actually good right there. All right, hey, thanks, guys. The blisters are the least of your problem. I've painted bathrooms with a roller and had the paint come out smoother than that. When you see bad paint work, in almost every case, there's worse body work underneath. This bug has the worst paint job I've ever seen. It's screaming to be media blasted. Can you put up the windows?
That one doesn't go up.
Can you close the back window on the other side?
No.
How bad is the wiring on the car?
It's not good.
Got a lot of broken covers, broken connections. Just stand where I am. Look down at your bumper.
They're bent. It's like cattywampus.
It is. Wait a second. It's burning fairly rich. It burns gas first, it burns oil shortly second. Owners wanting a restoration usually just see the aesthetics like paint and trim, but it's everything underneath the paint that takes up the majority of the hours. When we start throwing everything into our basket, the bubbles, the chrome, the quarter vent assemblies, the interior, the windows that don't line up, it doesn't take long before we filled the basket pretty damn full.
That's why we're here. We want it done right.
All right, let's go write this up.
Okay.
We're gonna start by pulling the entire car apart and then media blasting it down to bare metal. We'll repair any damage we find and smooth that body. We'll redo the electrical, align the windows, and get the motor running again. Then we'll cap it off with a beautiful Bahama Blue paint job that will make this the perfect belated Mother's Day present for Diane. The 62 Maserati is a living legend, and every compartment in it feels like its own time capsule.
Let's see what it looks like under the hood.
What we've got here is the first year of manual fuel injection in an Italian car built by the English.
Holy moly.
Is that not what nightmares are made of? The minute I looked at that fuel injection system, I got scared. Lucas got out of building fuel injection systems because they weren't successful at it, and that's what we have to deal with on this Maserati.
I don't see anything that's all torn up.
That is one monstrous frickin' suspension. An aluminum car on a tough steel chassis. This car probably handled like nothing else at that time. Now take a look at your access to the transmission, Rob. Bobby, you able to pull that out?
That's welded in there, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
That's not coming out of there. This is a ship in a bottle.
This car rolled down the line with a chassis. They put an engine, a transmission, and a differential, and encased the chassis between an upper and a lower section of body. What the hell was that? We can't take this car apart to work on it. Is that a trans cooler? We're getting our first look up close and personal at the 62 Maserati, and unfortunately, it's not quite what we're looking for.
Look at that rivets all over the car, aluminum to steel. They put this car together, folded it around the chassis, and then riveted it down.
Big Italian sandwich.
We would have to unweld, unrivet the lower section, the middle section, and the upper section. But we are not pulling this car apart. So start looking at the fuel system, motors, fuel injection. Let's get this thing running. It's time to start this 66 VW Bug's third restoration by tearing it apart. Over 1 million Beetles were produced in 1966, but because they were so common, they were considered throwaways. Original 50-year-old parts in good condition are hard to find, so everything we take off this car needs to be carefully labeled and hopefully reused.
We're gonna get the glass out of all the doors, the quarter panels, and the front, all the wiring, and then work on the interior and pull the seats out. There are a lot of bolts on the underside of the vehicle holding the body and the pan together. And you can separate those two, and then you can pull the body separately.
Got the motor, so pick your end up.
Letting it down?
Okay, how about this back? How about this back?
It's actually a lot heavier than it looks.
The owner claimed the metal was in top condition, but we won't know for certain until we have it media blasted. And on a car half a century old, I'd be shocked if we don't find a few gremlins.
The 62 Maserati has a Lucas fuel injection system, which is interesting to say the least. It's fully mechanical fuel injection. There's no electrical interface at all. They're known worldwide for problems. This is a pretty complex system, and I can't imagine getting parts for it easy.
Work on a 62 Maserati is a mixed bag. Installing the gas tank was a breeze, but there are a lot of other systems that are impossible to get to. The paint is also a huge problem. Because of changing laws in the EPA, finding a manufacturer that still deals in original 50-year-old lacquer is not easy.
We're gonna go ahead and disassemble this car so that we can get to the paint. It's not like a Mustang or a Camaro. If we lose one of these parts, we're gonna have to make it.
That's in rough shape. Okay, get this redone.
All right, sounds good.
Now, these are the ones that scare the hell out of me.
All right.
This assembly right here, I want this put back on the car. So you're going to clean those up and reinstall them.
I hate working on one-of-a-kind parts because if there's something that I can't fix, there's no way out. I don't want a single bad part on this car, and it doesn't matter if nobody knows who installed this chrome. I know, so it has to be perfect. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Hey, Davey.
Hey, what's going on?
Are you finished?
Yep.
You've got a tear here. You got waves there. But hell, you even got waves in this panel.
Whole body, the deck lid, the hood, all filler.
It's 50 years old, so we've got a little bit of hammer dolly work to do. I want to do straightening and pulling. How'd the doors turn out?
They're not rotted out, but they were filled. Complete. Matter of fact, the only part that wasn't was just a little curve on the top.
Davey called it the Mudmobile because every panel was caked with filler, but there's no rust to be seen on this car. In fact, it's pretty much amazing.
Why was the paint lifting all over this vehicle?
Lack of primer.
Nope. See that? I can sand my fingernail down on the edge. When you soda blasted it, you could take duct tape and stick duct tape to it. Fall right to the floor. So guess what happens when you paint on that? Soda blasting is a gentler method than sandblasting, and it was even used on the Statue of Liberty. The problem is that the sodium bicarbonate media changes the pH of the metal, so it requires a few extra steps before the surface is ready for paint.
Whoever painted this before didn't understand that process. So at this point, finish blowing it out. Let's get it into epoxy etch primer, and then send it off to the metal shop. We're gonna get this sprayed, do a little bit of repair, and turn this wavy bubble into a perfectly smooth bubble.
We're working on a 62 Maserati. I'm trying to sort out all the electrical issues. These wires seem like they're for the turn signals, and then there's just this random blue wire that I don't know what it does. They use the same wire colors for 12-volt wires that they use for ground wires, which is nuts. I think they're fog lights, but we can't get them to turn on because we don't even know what the switches are. I don't know what that's so weird. Everything's just really damaged. The best we have is a service manual from 1958, and it's mostly in Italian. I spent like the first afternoon translating everything on the internet. Where it says the fog light is the wiper switch. It says the wiper switch is on the other side of the column where there's no switch.
Drivers.
See? Wiper's here. There's no switch there. There's only a light.
But where the heck is the daggone fog light switch? The electrical wiring is 60 years old.
Number 12's blown.
And every time you touch something or move something, something pops, something breaks.
All these wires under here. This sucks, dude. The Maserati is a weird car. It's very complicated. The worst part is the car's a 62, and the diagram's from 1958, and it's only about half right.
Are you learning to read this Italian already?
Yeah. And the electric hooter. I was reading the instructions. They're like, the electric hooter switch is in the middle of the steering wheel. I was like, oh, horn.
I can't do no Italian, man.
Right.
I can do Italian dressing.
Right now, we're trying to just see what does what, and I'm putting like tape on it and labeling it myself temporarily. To figure this out, I basically have to do an electrical autopsy.
Right. You're learning Italian, and I'm learning not to work on nothing that's Italian.
Arrivederci.
The 62 Maserati's driver's side door is crushed, and unfortunately, it's not only aluminum, but it's irreplaceable. So Wayne has got to work bringing it back out to exactly where it should be to make it look perfect.
Hey, Dan.
How's it going?
That thing was tinted in so bad, when I popped it up, it came out.
You understand how important this is, right?
Yeah, super rare car, very expensive.
No,
Gotta get it
super rare
right.
is an understatement. This door is worth more than most of the cars that are in the shop. I would much rather have it right than have it fast.
While Wayne works on the door, Alan and I get to face an even bigger problem. We need to match the Maserati's rare jet black lacquer paint, and getting it close won't exactly cut it. This paint has to match absolutely perfect.
Alan, I think
We got the right color, but now it's time to age it because
we've got a 50-year-old car.
Here is the black, and I got the white toner, and what I'm thinking is we'll just add drops until we start seeing perceptible difference, and then we'll do a spray out. And we'll just keep doing that until we get to the right color. Five, 6, 7. All right, that's the 7-drop version. Now we'll do the 6, the 5, the 4, until we have exactly the right tint. I don't want to screw it up.
You just have to be careful.
Yeah. With the dent fixed and the surface prepped to perfection, it's time to find out if Alan and I got it right. The only way to know that for sure is to spray it, cut it, buff it, and see the results.
Hey, check this out. I'm just finishing up this lip.
Dude, it looks good.
The paint match on the Maserati door was flawless. Now it's time to start touching up those million scratches and scuffs everywhere. That looks pretty nasty. So flake off the dead paint and then fill all of that.
The Maserati looked horrible. The aluminum body flexes, and after all those years, we have stress fractures all around, and there's not a single body panel on this car without a scratch. It makes it extremely stressful.
Wayne's getting started on the 66 Volkswagen metalwork. The round shape of the bug makes every fix a challenge.
There's a bit of a rust hole in the bottom of the 66 Volkswagen, so I'm going to have to cut that out, make a patch, weld it in, seam seal it. It should be good from there. The Volkswagen was pretty out of round, so I'm just pounding them out, and then I'll do a little hammer and dollar work to get it all smooth. These cars were built quick, so a lot of the gaps aren't perfect like we like them, but we're making everything as perfect as possible. Ta-da! With Beetles being so round, it's basically like sanding a basketball. A lot of times, people will cut flat spots into them, and when you feel over it, you don't have that continuous curve.
After weeks of bodywork, the 66 Volkswagen is ready to move into paint.
This guy is going Bahama Blue, which is kind of like a pastel blue they put on them back in the 60s. Not my favorite color. Of course, the owners are going to be tickled to death the way it looks.
Justin is being extremely methodical with the Maserati paint, just like I asked him to, and while he does that, Liam is getting started on the interior.
So you preparing the carpet? Yeah, I'm taking all the carpeting out because there's no way to save the old stuff. This is
And
bad.
it smells delicious.
Yeah. Dan decided to have us replace the carpet. But like everything else in this car, there are a lot of custom pieces. They definitely didn't build this the easy way. Oh. Hey, Dan?
Yeah, what's up?
It's with the Maserati. When I was taking the door panel off of the passenger side, there was all this rust.
Let's go. We repaired the damage to the driver's side door, but this is on the other side of the car, so it has to be something new. Wow. Wow. So the damaged door is perfect, and the perfect door is damaged. There is no replacement, and we cannot weld on it.
I don't know what would cause this door to be this bad off when the driver's side is fine.
This seal being bad, maybe parked next to a gutter where it was raining down on it, something like that. So the only thing we can do is treat the rust, remove the scale, and then encapsulate it to the point where it never happens again.
Okay.
It absolutely sucks, but the positive is Liam found the rust early enough to save the door.
First, I scraped the rust off. I'm supposed to grab what Bobby calls skunk piss and coat it over the entire inner part of the door. And then you start putting the rust sealer on and make sure I don't miss any spots.
The Bahama Blue paint turned out great, so now it's time to start putting Diane's Mother's Day bug back together.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike a lot of the other builds that we get in here, where you assemble the car first and add the mechanical later, this has the engine, the transmission, suspension, and the brakes all on a pan, and all we have to do is make sure everything lines up.
Oh, this ain't nothing.
Oh, this is way easier with 6 people.
Whoa,
Careful.
Let Joe get some room.
Okay.
Are we clear of the engine? Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sexy.
Oh, that's perfect right there. Oh, God.
Wow, I think that's really, really close.
Look at that.
It's like almost perfect. If it's not perfect, it's close.
Look at that. Boom.
Oh, sweet.
All right, Stevie, it's actually here.
Wow. Took long enough.
It took forever, but the 62 Maserati fuel injection system is back from rebuild. The hell is that?
The motor for the fuel pump, that would be the entire fuel pump. So I guess he took 2 fuel pumps and made 1 good one.
Wow.
It looks like he did good work.
Do you realize how hard it would be to replace it?
Yeah, I had no desire to pull that thing apart and rebuild it.
I hope Ben understands, because the original bid to rebuild that was $2,500, and by the time it came back, it was right at about $12 grand.
Oh, good Lord.
We got all of the very expensive parts back. Now it's time to see if it was all worth it.
Slide it off.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Ta-da.
And that one's going on, so we're good.
This gotta go up underneath.
You know what scares me about this?
Made by the devil himself.
So we can have this running this afternoon?
If it runs this week, I'll be happy. That's a big if, because it has not run in a very, very long time.
While Steve and I are battling with the Maserati, Liam and the boys are making steady progress on the 66 VW Bug.
I like it.
Once Liam finishes up the wiring, we should be able to fire up this tiny motor and send it on its way. Steve finished installing the 62 Maserati fuel injection system, so now it's time to see if that system lives up to its price tag. I've never heard a Maserati run before. Rev it up just a little bit. We obviously have one hell of an exhaust leak. Well, it didn't sound like the high-performance monster I hoped to hear, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. In the life cycle of bringing a car back, you establish the pulse, you get it to crawl, then we walk it, and finally it runs. Today, it has a pulse. And that's pretty damn cool.
The hydraulic system for the brake and the clutch are going to be a pain in the butt.
I was hoping not to hear that. You probably won't find many 50-year-old cars with a more complex engine bay than this Maserati. But you definitely won't find cars from the same era with a simpler engine than the 66 VW Bug. Unfortunately, all that simplicity doesn't rule out 50-year-old complications. Steve, here's my concern.
Won't run?
May have burned up the coil. Keys on.
Here, you hold the plug wire.
I don't like that, Jeff.
I got metal plates in my head. It starts glowing.
All right, all right. Yep, it just barked.
Coil's fine. Which means it's the ignition module. The distributor's been upgraded with electronic ignition, and the electronic pickup just went bad. No spark.
Can you humor me? Let's replace the coil and see what happens. All right, we ready?
Yep, it's not gonna start. I got the throttle. Keep cranking. No spark. Told you it wasn't gonna start.
Son of a.
Sometimes you just get crap parts.
All right, I'll get you another damn module. The simple engine on the Bug failed me, but Steve says I'll be happy with the performance of the 62 Maserati. I love the sound of an Italian engine. It has a rumble like a tiger. And now it's ready to take its first stroll in years. The motor actually sounds pretty good. Now, where are we at for brakes at this point?
Rebuilt the master cylinder, new brake lines.
Theoretically, I should be able to do a brake check. In 3, 2, 1. I got 2 feet on the floor and it's not stopping. It's not stopping. Today, I'm checking in with the owner of the '66 Volkswagen Bug. Hey, good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Dan. How you doing?
Well, your car is finished ahead of schedule and under budget.
Well, that's very good news for me. I really want this to be right. And if we got money to spend, Dan, I would love a new interior. I mean everything. The seats, door panels, door handles, all new old stock, maybe even another key.
Are we talking everything, all of the interior accessories?
It's a small interior.
It's a 4-passenger car.
I saw a car that had a Como green interior. I think it'll really, really make this car just that much better.
So I'm going to tell the guys not so fast on getting this ready to go out the door in the next couple days.
Dan, I really appreciate it. Can we still be friends, you think?
Liam already installed the blue interior that the Bug arrived with, but the owner called me up and now wants a different color. And so Liam's going to pull out the blue interior and reinstall the Como green that the owner now wants.
Damn it.
I think Ray's really going to love the car. I just wish the timing on all these changes had happened a little bit earlier. I got 2 feet on the floor and it's not stopping.
That's less than impressive.
Stevie, we got work to do. Ben's '62 Maserati finally moved under its own power, but these brakes aren't good enough for a $250,000 car. Fortunately, there's enough steel left on these rotors for Steve to turn them.
I went ahead and cut the rotors, make sure they're nice and flat, got a nice surface to them, so it's all pretty much new.
Steve restored the hydraulic brake booster and bled the brakes, so now that we finally have stopping power, we can get this Italian classic back on the road. On the '66 Volkswagen, Steve has the new ignition module in, and hopefully we're ready for an engine start.
Clear.
All right.
Told you.
So we're good?
Yeah. Any other simple little things you need fixed?
No, thank you.
With the engine running, it's time to send this little bug home. Welcome back.
Hi, Dan.
We're here today to pick up our 1966 Volkswagen Cabriolet. I think Diane's going to be more excited than I am.
Let me admit something to you. The changing out to the interior to the greens and the blues was magnificent.
You changed it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a secret.
You know what? I had a feeling there was something going on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now I'm really excited.
It's a little jewel.
Just like my honey here.
There you go.
I can't wait to drive it, and I can't wait to take people for a ride in the car.
Really, what your car suffered more than anything else was bad cosmetics. So we had to media blast it. We dealt with the metal work, the body work. We added in a bunch of other things that just make the car really more complete. And I think the car is a much nicer car for it.
That's exactly what I wanted. As close as possible to when it came out of the factory in '66.
If you took a brand new '66 and put it next to your car, I think yours is going to be the prettier car.
That's great.
All right, so you basically got out of a full build, $47,000, parts and labor included.
When we first talked, your ballpark was 60.
Right.
So
It's a win-win.
it is. It absolutely is. Are you ready to see the car?
I can't wait.
Let's go see the car.
Okay. It's beautiful. You little dog, you. Oh my gosh.
Does this look like the car you wanted?
Yes. Oh, definitely. This is awesome. This is awesome. Oh my car. Oh my gosh, it was fabulous. It's fabulous. I like this.
Open up your trunk.
Yeah.
So go ahead and press that and lift that up.
It doesn't catch.
But take a look at your factory air cleaner.
I know that that is a really big deal and all, but
But that's not what you care. All right.
I love this. The wheels
Yeah,
are
different.
really sweet.
When I use the word gem, do you get that now?
I think you want this car.
I do. I love this car. And here, that's actually one of my favorite parts of the car.
All of the things that they've done to this car. It's like a sundae, and you put that cherry on the top. They make it so extra special.
So who's driving?
Me.
No question.
Oh, wow.
I actually got what I wanted. In this day and age, that's pretty rare.
Oh, wow. Woo!
Put those 36 horses to work.
Oh, it drives like a dream.
Are you ever going to let me drive it?
Probably not.
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much for making this.
When Ben dropped off his Maserati, he didn't fully realize just how rare this car is. All right. Now that it's time to hand over the keys to Ben and his wife, I'm kind of sorry to see it go. Very sad day for me.
A happy day for me.
What did you ask me to do to your Maserati?
We keep the car as original as possible. This is what my dad drove in. This is what my dad sat on. This is what he used. The same steering wheel, everything.
What scared the hell out of me with this car was that it was basically a limited production, hand-built, 53-year-old Maserati, and my panic went to pure horror when I discovered that not only was the wiring done by Lucas, but the injection system was done by Lucas as well.
That's one of a kind.
Right.
Almost irreplaceable.
We contacted everyone on the planet who deals with mechanical fuel injection systems. The answer was not only no, but hell no.
Right.
Then we finally found this guy, and we sent this thing off, and then 6 months later, I sent a courier to pick it up.
Thank you.
In 1962, Maserati was painting with what is known as acrylic lacquer. We found you the uncatalyzed acrylic lacquer in the correct code for your car. We had to age it to match the exact graying effect of the paint. The wiring harness with a translation page in Italian.
It tickled me when I got your update that it took somebody 5 hours to just translate the Italian.
Yeah, because it's just a car, right? We restored the exhaust system. We did a full restoration on your brakes, your mechanical systems, your original Italian leather seats. All we did was we treated and retreated and rejuvenated them.
My daughter's already fighting to get in the front seat and grab onto that handlebar that's in there on the dash.
It was magical looking at the different pieces of this Italian hand-built supercar from the 60s.
I'm flattered and touched that the car has meant as much to you as it means to me and my family. My dad got behind the wheel of that car with a big smile on his face and a cigar in his mouth, and that was one of the few times we saw my dad very happy. You really wouldn't think that an inanimate object would mean so much, but it was something that was always very, very special to my father.
So where we ended up was about 600 hours in restoring Mona Lisa. The parts were just over $30,000. So you've got about $78,000. And I think we've easily increased the value of the car a couple $100,000. I think the car could bring $500,000 at auction. It's a work of art.
I'm getting chills down my spine. I can't even believe it.
Well, what do you say we go drive this masterpiece?
Absolutely. I can't wait.
I've never driven in it.
All right, let's go to it.
Awesome. The last time I heard the car run was 1977.
All right. Hey, Joey, bring it out.
Oh, my God. I hear it. Wow. Wow. Oh, my God, that's amazing. I don't think it's ever looked this good.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Dan, that is awesome. Oh, my God. That looks amazing.
Beautiful.
The grille, the Trident.
I like the Trident.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The black with the silver is beautiful.
That's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
You did way, way beyond my expectations. The elation of seeing a car that's bringing my father back as part of my family and feeling his spirit. It's really amazing. Look at the door.
It had a monster crush in it.
It's perfect.
Can you see any difference in the shade?
Absolutely not.
It's awesome. I honestly can't believe it's the same car.
It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Everything about it is still 1962.
It has never looked so good.
This looks like it belongs at Buckingham Palace.
Take a look at this interior now. The seats are all still your original seats.
Oh my God.
The carpets are those wool carpets from that town in England that made them originally back in 1962.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That bring back a few memories?
Sitting here brings back the fun that we used to have in this car.
The last time you sat in that seat, your dad was next to you, wasn't he?
He was right there.
It's pretty cool.
This car brings his childhood and his parents. It's an Italian legacy.
It's not an object. It's him. It's everything about him.
Yeah.
I can't even express in words what that means. Bringing it back to life for me.
You'll notice we cleaned up the engine compartment without changing everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I like it. I like how it's labeled everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Italian.
Of course.
Everything works on the car. You realize you've got 2 spark plugs per cylinder, like an airplane on this car. This really is a race car. Is it time to go for a ride?
Yes, please. Oh my God. Yeah. Just to see it coming back to life is amazing.
Have fun.
Oh my God. Listen to that motor. Listen to that roar. Getting in that car and driving it, it's a very amazing experience because not only was Jana in the car with me, but my father was in the car with me. I tell you, Papa's smiling today. This car is the bomb. I love it.
On the 66 Volkswagen, we had to blast the miserable paint down to make way for months of metal and bodywork. We gave it a perfect coat of Bahama blue, rewired the electrical, and got the engine running to give Ray and Diane the car of their childhood. On Ben's 62 Maserati, we restored the original motor, fuel injection system, brakes, interior, and electrical. We repaired accident damage and then perfected that super rare paint. Now this Italian classic is ready to turn heads. At Fantom Works, we make cars better than the day they rolled out. And for us, this is more than a job. Love your car as much as we do?
Wow, really came out great.
And we're gonna get along fine.
If you were a little bit cuter, I'd hug you.
Mostly. What's that? Truth is, if we have to pick between you and your car, that's an amazing amount of filth. We're not picking you. It's an exciting day at Fantom Works. Hank is dropping off a car that's rarely seen and even less commonly worked on.
Shelby Mustang.
1970 GT500 Shelby Fastback. This is one of 200 that were built in this combination.
Shelby. She runs like a scolded dog. Really? Yeah. It wasn't even supposed to drive, but it drives.
And we're going to need a crane to get Big Rob out.
Dan?
Oh, you must be Dennis.
I am. How are you?
Here, please grab a seat.
Thank you.
All right. GT500, very cool. Why?
About a month after I got my driver's license, my parents had given me my mother's old 66 Riviera, and I thought, of course, I was bad to the bone. One night, I pulled up at a light next to a guy in a 70 Shelby. It was orange, white stripes, and I saw it, and I saw the lines, and I thought, boy, that is just the meanest-looking, beautiful car I've ever seen.
Right.
I figured I'd give him a go, so I brake torqued it up pretty good, and...
Wait a second, you were going to race the Riviera, against a 70 Shelby.
I wasn't the sharpest guy in my class, let's face it. As it disappeared into the night, I told myself, someday I'm going to own one of those Shelby Mustangs. Well, the Shelbys are very rare. It started out as a relationship between Ford and Carroll Shelby to modify their standard Mustangs and show a premium product.
So you got embarrassed by a Shelby.
Humiliated.
You want the car that kicked your ass.
Right. 1990, I met a man who was the original owner of a 70 GT 500. And he said, well, it's orange with white stripes and white interior. I said, you gotta be kidding me. That's the same one that kicked my ass. I said, I'll buy it. He said, no, no, no.
Sometimes it's easier to negotiate their wives and children, right?
I continue to stay in touch. So he finally called me about 2 years ago and said, Dennis, I'm ready to sell.
Dennis chased this Shelby for about a quarter century, and although I love the passion, it means he's had a long time to think about this build.
Where are you trying to go with this car?
I want to do a nut and bolt restoration. I want to keep it factory original, numbers matching.
The 69 and 70 Shelbys were designed to be really fast, not laser straight. And you probably want it to be laser straight, don't you?
I want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
This has been a 43-year dream for me to own one of these cars, and I'm going to see it come to fruition.
You see how straight this line is? But you see it's almost a quarter inch off here? It's going to take a little bit of massaging. All of that white, chalky look, that's actually corrosion caused by salt. Okay, the heart of the beast. It's got 45 years of crud and corrosion on it, but, you know, that couldn't be helped. This is a numbers matching car, and that originality is one of its strengths, but it was also a driver, so I'm hoping we're not going to find a lot of aftermarket crap when we start digging deeper. What do you say we put it up in the air?
Sounds good to me.
You can see here, these down pans are just completely shot. There's nothing left of them. And your torque box, structurally, I mean, there's just nothing left. He drove it a lot in the rain, in the salt, in the snow. But what I promise you is everything that can be salvaged because it's an original Shelby, I will. I mean, every single thing.
I want to keep the original integrity of the car.
All right, we'll take it on.
Let's do it.
All right, Dennis.
Thank you.
Bringing this Shelby back to its glory is going to take a ton of work. We're going to start by reconstructing the incredibly corroded body. We'll restore the fiberglass and get the gap and reveal to better than factory new. We'll rebuild the drivetrain, brakes, steering, and suspension. We'll restore all the mechanical systems and then restore the interior components, capping it off with a spectacular paint job that Dennis remembers from his youth. This is going to be one hell of a cool and original 1970 Shelby. One of the strangest projects we've ever had in the shop was Rick and Cheryl's 1972 Cadillac Hearse. It was a bouncing, flame-throwing nightmare.
Hey, Dan.
Now Rick and Cheryl have returned, and I got to admit, I'm a little nervous. You're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Do I want to ask why?
I want to bring you another car.
Okay.
It's a 1970 Chrysler Hearst 300.
Hearst.
Hearst. H-U-R-S-T. It's a Chrysler 300 that was done by the Hearst Corporation of shifter fame.
Yeah.
And they're very rare. This car has no flamethrowers. It has no funky horns. It's got everything original that came with the car.
Wasn't this a pace car?
Yes, but in order for them to be able to use it in major races, they have to produce a certain number of them.
How many did they build?
486 two-door sedans and 1 convertible. I have a 2-door coupe.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that 2-door coupe is about the size of your hearse.
It's about 20 feet long, yes.
Do I want to ask what you want to do with this?
It's a lot more fun to drive it in the summertime when the air conditioning works. The heat doesn't work either.
Is it a factory AC car?
Yes.
Okay, so has it ever worked?
I got the car in '89. It worked then. I think it probably stopped sometime around the mid-'90s.
Have you removed any of those components, or are they all still there?
Things have been removed during the restoration that I just did on the car.
The restoration you just did?
Yes. I did everything except the engine rebuilding and the paint.
How long did it take to do the restoration?
He worked on it for years, really. This was before the internet. He had to search junk cars, he had to search classifieds.
So you finished this restoration. Did the AC work then?
No, I did put a new compressor on it. I put new air lines on it.
Is that it?
There's a couple of other little things. The cruise control doesn't work, and there's 2 different trunk releases, and neither one of them work well, although one does open the trunk. I'm concerned about it.
Anything else?
It runs a little rough.
Do you try and drive it fairly often?
At least once a week.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
You second that?
Sure.
Here we go again.
All right. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Dan.
A little odd, but always a pleasure. All right, folks.
Dennis's 1970 Shelby is jam-packed full of boxes of what he claims are new old stock parts. If that's the case, we're rolling in original parts. Do not gouge the paint. Get it on. Yeah. Where do those screws go? That is rear seat. Different bags. Everything gets documented and everything gets saved, because replacing some of these rare parts is a nightmare that I don't want to face.
Damn, this thing is heavy. We just pushed in one of the longest cars I ever seen in my life.
Boy, isn't she a pretty car?
Yeah, she is. Till you get up here and look at this hood. Whew. Yeah, this thing's wavy.
When Hearst took these, they took the skin off of the original 300 and they did fiberglass.
Oh, yeah, she's rough. Pinstripes falling off up here. All right, so take this hood off and go make it pretty.
What do you think?
Holy shit.
I think they painted it in Braille.
Never seen anything like that. Look, would you put primer on this hood?
No. We're better off trying to find one that's in better shape than this.
Oh yeah, I'll just go to the Chrysler 300 store and pick up another hood. What scares the hell out of me on this 300 Hearst restoration is not what I can see, it's the stuff I can't see. Why would they do this? This is not just not quite right, this is just dead wrong. You can't leave this hood looking like this.
No.
You would have to order the 55-gallon drum of mud
Yeah.
to straighten this hood out. The 70 Hearst is one of the rarest muscle cars in existence, but this hood has it looking like it's ready for the scrapyard. Can we split the hood, peel it, and then redo all the glass?
It's doable. It's gonna take some time.
All right. This hood can't stay on this car. I'm gonna call Rick and talk with him, but I hope I'm preaching to the choir. While Raymond starts on the hood, we'll get the AC and the heat running again. We'll then repair the engine, the trunk release, and any other hiccups we find along the way. With the repaired hood, we'll cut and buff the entire car, getting this thing as close to show quality as possible. I just hate the fact that I gotta break the news to Rick that his uber rare Chrysler 300 looks like an orange that was painted white and gold.
I don't envy that conversation for you.
Dennis wants his 1970 Shelby restored to the way it looked and drove when it left the factory. Bruce and Rob pulled this thing apart and saved absolutely everything.
Oh yeah, this is good for the glutes.
Now it's up to Bobby to do the exact same thing on the GT500's big block motor. On a rare matching number car like this, every piece counts.
Easy, easy, easy. Hold it, hold it. Just a little bit further. Go ahead. Come on in. Back out. Please, sir.
He wants a factory build. So other than the rust, I want it back.
Okay.
With the engine pulled and the Shelby disassembled, it's time to media blast the paint and find out what's hiding underneath.
Oh boy.
Corrosion on a car comes from one of three places. It's either rain, it's water coming up from the ground, or it's salt. And in this case, it's all salt, and that's the worst one of the three. This is not good.
No, not at all.
So we've got scale all the way along the left side. The trunk extension just needs to go.
Right.
It's really rotting from all four corners. And of course, that's our torque box.
Oh boy. Now the core support, how do we look there? Oh, whoa, whoa. Looky there. That's not healthy.
There's nothing left on that frame rail. I don't trust the core support, and now we've got a frame rail and the aprons. That's the front clip of the car.
We got to watch how we tread.
The build just took the next step up. I'm putting this on Andy and Dave, but they need to understand this has to be a precise operation. Consider this day one again. The floors of a Mustang are part of the frame of the car. So you have to be very surgical about how you remove the floors. You're not going to touch any of the critical structural components in this car. The plasma cutter's so fast that one quick slip means that you could slice a rocker right in half. That would be one expensive mistake. I wasn't exactly looking forward to calling Rick and telling him we had to find one of the rarest hoods in the world. Looks like he was one step ahead of me, and he already has one. While we wait for Rick's spare hood, Bruce is going to start diagnosing the air conditioning problems. Bruce probably just thinks he's being punished, but I need him to get every single fin as straight as possible on this radiator so it's operating at peak performance.
The new floor came in for the Shelby. Me and Bobby are going to test fit it, make sure everything lines up before we start the welding.
Okay, get her tech screwed in. When Dave cut the old one out, everything got marked. When the new one got put in for a test fit, it went right back to those marks so we can find exactly where it needed to be. The floor is everything on this car. The floor is what's holding the two halves together.
Now that we've got the flooring, we're going to start working on other structural points like the front frame rails and the torque boxes.
After you. Woo. Oh my gosh, this thing is bowed.
Rick dropped off his spare hood. It still needs to be split, peeled, and reconstructed, but because it's in so much better shape than his original, it's going to save a whole lot of hours. Today I'm doing some of the reconstruction on the 70 Shelby that's part of the original work. It's something you don't see much anymore because it's mostly a lost art, leading. Heat up your metal, you apply lead, and then you come back and you heat it back up and you shape it. But you can see it's filling in, it's doing what it's supposed to.
That looks like shit.
Well, it looks like shit because I'm just starting. It's not sticking. It is sticking.
No, it's not.
It is, you're full of shit. Is this?
It's stuck to me.
It is stuck. You are full of shit, Jeff. Go bite my. You know when the last time I've done this was?
1957.
Never. I'm not going to admit it to Jeff, but there's definitely a learning curve to this art. I'm going to get this right if it f***ing kills me. I'm going to get this right if I have to stay here tonight and do it. On the 70 Shelby, I tried my hand at a technique called leading in order to smooth out the sail panel to the roof panel. That bad, huh? Does this look that bad? The lead keeps cooling before I can smooth it out, so it looks like I need a lot more heat and an extra pair of hands. Oh, yours is bigger than mine.
Not much.
Bobby's been doing metal work since, well, hell, since I was in high school.
I'll do the metal, you do the lead. There you go. Back it out just a little bit.
This has got to be one of the last years ever done with lead filler. Could you imagine the guys on the factory floor?
Doing this as it's going down the line.
That's what they were doing.
You do that walk and trying to do this?
With Bobby's help, I got a nice layer of lead built up and really well stuck to the steel. Now all I have to do is smooth it out. Was it easy? Nope. Was it fast? Hell no. Was it the right thing to do? Absolutely. The metal work is complete and the body work is started, but there's still weeks of filling and sanding before this Shelby Mustang has a glass smooth surface. In the meantime, Blake is going to help Bobby rebuild the differential.
Come on, you're so. I'm changing out the yoke seal on it, axle wheel bearings, the lock collars, the rear brakes on one side. The next step for this, slide the axles in and bolt them up, and then they'll paint it, and then hopefully we'll have the car back by then and we can install it.
All the parts for the differential came in, and they're all factory correct parts, but this car came in with a whole lot of replacement components, and our job is now to figure out which ones are original and which ones aren't. Okay, here's the water pump you're about to install, which you are not going to install. Here, this is the one that was on the engine when it arrived. It's got the Ford logo, but here's our problem. Look at our date.
3L5?
The first digit is the last number of the year, so this would either have to be 63 or 73. But this car was built in June of '69. It wasn't sold until '70. Guess what was upstairs? This is the one that somebody pulled off this car many years ago, at least stuck it in the trunk for us. So what's the first digit there?
9.
9, clearly what we're looking for. What's the next one?
F.
A, B, C, D, E, F. 6 month, what's the next digit?
1.
First week of June 1969. That is the water pump that came from this car. So we need to actually get this one remanned.
The 70 Hurst hood is ready for striping. Rick provided us with a set of decals, but they disintegrated as soon as we touched them. I got no choice but to hand stripe this hood, but fortunately, I enjoy this type of work. I don't get to do it very often, so I'm excited to get it done.
Alan says he's completed the first block of the 70 Shelby bodywork. I don't care if that car came in rough shape, it's leaving perfect. Is it ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Dan's really particular about the body lines and the gaps. I'm expecting him to really nitpick, so paid a little bit of special attention on that, make sure they're all straight.
All right. This is one of the most impressive block ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I mean, I saw this car before. And
it was rough.
Yeah, everything on it was crookeder than hell. Yeah, I would agree you are ready to go into a high build?
Yep.
Okay, outstanding. Wayne did a great job on the first block of bodywork, but he's far from the finish line. We're also taking care of all the fiberglass. Shelby's from the doors forward are all glass, and they were subject to a lot of cracking and misalignment, and we're gonna make sure that those panels look as perfect as the steel panels on this car. Plus, we always prime and paint every engine bay before we reinstall an engine. It's a 428 Super Cobra Jet.
I have never personally seen a 428 Super Cobra Jet 70 Shelby, and Blake gets to now build one.
I need to make sure that every single one of these rare parts goes together correctly and better than when it was new. It's exciting, but also pretty intimidating.
What the f? Don't you? Huh? You got a big gap on the bottom and tight at the top. Right in there. Yeah, real. Blake's a nervous wreck about putting his transmission in his car. Really? And I don't blame him. He weighs about 300 pounds. Now he's working with the most expensive car he's ever seen and the rarest car he's ever seen. I'd be a little concerned too.
There's like zero room for this transmission. It's a big motor in this small Mustang, so there's not a lot of wiggle room in the engine to bring it up and down. It's just a pain in the ass to get it in.
Get it fingered out?
Pretty close. It's just hard to be here, and here all at the same time, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
We're close though.
Okay.
I think it just needs to shoot in now.
Nope. Need to come up about a ½ inch on this side. Oh, there you go. Look. All right, you ready to roll?
Thank you, sir.
The 70 Hurst has buttons and switches everywhere. Joey is tasked with tracking each and every one down and making sure it works perfectly.
What is that, cruise control? The battery kept dying every time somebody was trying to start it up. It would sit for a day, battery would be dead.
Hook it up in series.
In series,
On
yeah.
the 2 connections.
Okay.
We got a whopping draw now.
Yeah. See the red wires on top of each other? Pull that out.
1.3.
And push in the pin. That is the whole thing. I don't know what it is.
Dome lamp.
750 milliamps. You pull it out, and it goes down to 40. So it's whatever's on that circuit.
Joey, what's going on, man? There's a toggle switch hooked up next to the steering column. It goes into the bottom of the fuse panel right here, and when I pull it out, the draw goes away. But I just don't know what the toggle switch does. You tell me if anything happens. You see anything in the front?
It's the fog light.
What?
The fog light.
I don't know why it's using power then.
You know, accessory runs all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you put it on a fuse that only comes on when you turn the ignition on.
The cause was a aftermarket fog light circuit. Even when the key was out, it was using a little bit of amperage. Oh, there we go.
On the 70 Shelby, Blake got the transmission set up, and now it's time for him to install the rebuilt differential.
I'm going up and through?
Yep.
Hang tight.
1, 2, go!
Once Blake installs the differential and gets the rest of the drivetrain set up, it's time to see if this engine's gonna fire up.
It was a little nerve-wracking watching Steve power it up. But once it finally started up, I was very relieved and very happy.
Woo-hoo.
The Shelby has a very long way to go, but with the engine running and the brakes finished, this GT500 can finally go out for its initial test drive.
We know the rear end works. We know everything works.
This Shelby runs like hell on wheels, and right now Mechanical gets the big thumbs up. Now it's off to race so that he can get started prepping for paint.
You want it forward in or back in? I'll take those forward. The hell was that? Because the manifold's not far away from the shock tower.
When I threw this thing in reverse, there was a knock in the engine bay that I could feel throughout the entire car.
We had an 1/8 inch, but everything's settled in.
That's touching.
It took 2 hours to get the engine out of the hole with the manifolds on it.
I've heard of stuff being jammed into engine bays. I've never seen anything that tight.
You want it forward in or back in? I'll take those forward. The hell was that?
70 Shelby gave me one hell of a ride, but when I put it in reverse, I felt a bang that gave me the chills.
That's ridiculous.
Because how this mount is, we can't shim it up. There's no shimming space in these mounts. Everything's through bolt, vertical instead of horizontal bolts.
So in other words, it's going to bang when he puts it in reverse. We have no choice. Anytime you try and stuff an engine over 400 cubic inches into a Mustang, you're gonna have one hell of a bad time. Carroll Shelby faced the exact same problem. We're just dealing with it 50 years later.
From here to Shelby, you'll get a couple of coats of white sealer. That makes that orange really stand out. The color of this car is technically Calypso Coral, which technically is competition red. It's just a pretty bright orange, which I love, vibrant colors.
On Dennis's Shelby, we installed the white side stripes originally done in 1969, and then we're adding the black hood stripes done in 1970. We spent months perfecting the body lines on this Shelby, so I want the graphics to be just as picture perfect.
I'm doing a quality check on the 70 Shelby. We just put the reflective stripes on, and I'm finding some things that I don't like. I saw some things on the stripes here that don't quite look like they're gonna fly. The GT500 is just crooked as a dog. It's going up at an angle. It's not parallel to the scoop opening right here.
I didn't notice that until after I stood back off of it, and then it really jumped out at you. When you're up close on something, you can't really see the big picture. and a little bit off on something that long ends up looking really horrible.
I got another smudge here, and then I got another smudge here. Can we clean this up and can we remove these stripes, or are we gonna have to use our spare stripe kit?
Probably end up having to use the spare stripes.
All right, we have a plan B, but we don't have a plan C.
All right.
So plan C, we don't want to get to.
Second time's a charm.
There you go.
The 300 Hurst had a 375 horse, 440 cubic inch plant. They called it the TNT because that was a wicked amount of power in that year.
You know what really adds some torque? It's this badass K&N air filter.
Don't drop that. It's ugly. Just like you, ugly.
With a 440, a torque flight, and a set of 323s, this thing can do a 15-second quarter. Not bad for a whale. With a full tune-up, including a carburetor and timing adjustment, Bobby's put all the pep back into this battleship. On the 70 Shelby, Wayne got the lines laser straight. Now it's time to get it reassembled. First up is bright work, and the Shelbys were known more for performance than alignment of trim. We're gonna make sure that when it leaves here, it's better than factory.
Oh, pretty good.
I've got Joey finishing up the wiring and the gauges on the Shelby, but he's also taking on that tilt steering, and because of its design, it's a unique challenge.
When you turn the key off and open the door, it's supposed to move the wheel out of the way so you can get out easier. It's electrically controlled and vacuum powered, and it's just not working. Every time I energize it, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. The switch that's in there now, all it does is heat up, so we need to replace the part. Nobody makes a replacement part for this. The only thing about new old stock is it's nice that it's new, it's never been used before, but it's still 46 years old, so it might not work.
Liam.
What's up?
I got it working. All right, now it's off. Open the door. It works.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, shut the door, but-da. Now it's locked.
The 70 Hurst has two options to open the trunk: a vacuum system and a manual pull cable. The vacuum system doesn't work and the cable is ready to snap.
Because what's happening is as soon as you pull it, it's like hitting an unnatural stop.
If both systems fail, the only way to open this trunk is to cut it open.
You want to do it?
No, I think you got it.
Whoever installed the cable left the sleeve a little bit too long. It's potentially a simple fix, but one slip, and we're searching for a 50-year-old irreplaceable part.
All right, now go ahead if you would and pull it.
Felt pretty good.
Okay, pull it again. That's what we were looking for.
The vacuum trunk release system is a lot more complicated, and it's going to require some troubleshooting.
I have no vacuum coming into the switch, so we get to keep tearing it apart.
One of the nozzles on the push button is snapped. I can repair that with some epoxy, but fixing a vacuum-powered system is rarely that simple. One of the final puzzle pieces to deal with on Dennis's car are those incredibly rare and unique Shelby gauges. We screw those up, and there's no replacing them.
Because I don't see how you really can have a short in a plug-and-play harness. See, if we splice something in there, then I can understand.
Problem is, with so many wires behind the dash of a 70 Shelby, finding a short is a tedious process of elimination.
Try to run a no power to this to see if they light up. Yeah, they all light up now.
See, black and red one right here got power. All this has power.
You can disconnect any of that stuff you want to under there.
Let's disconnect it, right? I'm gonna disconnect this.
And sometimes things get worse before they get better.
Oh, what was that?
Right now, we're moving into the home stretch on this rare numbers-matching 70 Shelby. It's kicked our ass in metal, mechanical, bodywork, and finish, because on a car like this, every little thing has to be perfect, like the center caps. Liam wants to talk to me about them.
The center caps are not in all that great condition. I can kind of clean the outside, but I wanted to know what you'd like to do with these. All the ones I found online were very expensive, like $400.
For plastic center caps.
For plastic center caps. And there's not an easy way to get in here and clean that without scratching it and messing it up.
You'd destroy the chrome. There might just be a way to repair them. The only thing more delicate on a car than chrome is chromed plastic. Liam is going to take 4-0 steel wool and gently polish all of these center caps so they're going to look perfect when reinstalled. I've got an idea on how to fix the center plastics, which are really hard to get to. To fix you without ruining you. First, I've got to sand through the surface of these plastic discs to get rid of all of that corrosion. Discoloration is gone. Now for the polish. Everything has to be perfect on the Shelby, and now these center caps are.
And you can disconnect any of that stuff you want to under there.
Let's disconnect it, right? I'm gonna disconnect this.
I mean, you can take this right here out. Oh, what was that?
Travis and Aaron have looked at every damned wire and connection under that Shelby dash looking for that short circuit.
God.
One more fuse.
Then they finally nailed it. A bad console switch.
You leave the lights on.
Our next job is the installation of the interior, a few ring outs, and this Shelby is finally on the way out the door. The final hurdle on the 70 Hearst is that vacuum-actuated trunk release.
There's vacuum lines everywhere under there. I mean, they're just literally, it's like spaghetti vacuum lines, so.
I've repaired the switch, and now Travis and I are troubleshooting the vacuum system.
You see this line right here? This is the rubber line. Okay, tug on it just a little bit.
Pulling it.
I think I found it. They had it routed backwards. Okay. All right, close the trunk. Open. Guess what? Works. With the trunk locked down, it's time to send this boat back to sea. Welcome back. Rick and Cheryl are here to take their 70 Hearst home. Fiberglass hoods are notoriously bad.
When I had the body shop paint the car, he spent 50 hours on the hood trying to get it smooth, and then the next day he said it would have another wave in it.
Right. The hood that you brought me, although it was much nicer than the hood that was on your car, by time we reconstructed the steel and the fiberglass, your hood accounted for almost 2/3 of your total invoice.
I'm not surprised it took him that long to do it. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of detail.
It started out with heat and air conditioning. There were things that weren't connected. It had all of the normal culprits, and there was a little bit of damage to some of the systems. We replaced the lines, and today that thing blows ice cold.
That's great.
Because all the car shows are in the summer.
Yeah. And then there were all the other little things, the trunk, the door pulls, window motors, the engine not running right. So that became a fairly major project.
I wasn't concerned about him picking the car apart because I kind of knew what was going on with the car.
So, all said and done, you can drive the car, I think, far more comfortably. And here's where we ended up. 240 hours in labor, materials at around $1,100, total coming in at $16,700 all in.
Total acceptance, that's perfect.
Under 20, we're happy.
I had a nice car before, now it's even nicer.
So, with that, what do you say we go take a look at it, and you guys get to go drive it with all of the systems working?
Let's do it.
That'd be great.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I can't believe how it shines.
Oh, yeah, it's
Okay.
really shiny.
Wow.
Stand here and take a look down your car at your hood.
There's not a ripple in it.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. I
That is
can't believe that. That's
fantastic.
incredible.
The color pops.
The old hood had so many waves in it, it just didn't look appropriate. This hood now is flat, just like you would expect the hood to be. It's gorgeous.
I want you to sit in your car, start it up. Cheryl, can you go around? Hit your little magic button. And look at that. Okay, punch your, I think it's your second button.
It's blasting out now.
What do you think? What did the button?
That's cold.
Yeah.
That's gold.
You won't be able to blow it right in your face because at times it's actually a little too harsh for you.
The AC and the heat are now working like they should. Just perfect. It's perfect now.
To take the car on a spin.
Wow. It's really great to get it back.
Yeah, it's so smooth.
It drives as good as it looks now. It's crazy.
Well, it's nice to feel the heat again.
It sure is, and the
Working great.
Speedo works. It doesn't jump all around. Boy, I'm telling you, they really fixed everything.
It's delivery day for the 70 Shelby. The guys are doing the final finishing touches. And I'm going to meet with Dennis and tell him about his one-of-a-kind build. So Dennis, welcome back.
Dan, thank you.
How long has it been here?
A year ago, October, so about a year and a half now.
Do you remember what the request was when you brought your Shelby to me?
Yeah, I wanted it completely restored, numbers matching, the best of the best.
Did you think it was numbers matching?
I knew the drivetrain was.
Most guys will say I have a numbers matching car if they've got those components. But it became evident to us that the car was more of a daily driver than a Shelby, in that there were so many parts from the car that had been swapped out that we had to go find date code, part number matching FOMOCO parts for the car. So at this point, your carburetor, your starter, your alternator, let's put it this way, if it had a number on it, and we were aware that it had a number on it, it is correct for a 1969 70 Shelby.
A lot of people say, oh, I know how to do this stuff. We've been restoring cars for 30 years. It's not a matter of just putting paint on a car. It's understanding the history of the car, how it was made, but more importantly, why it was made the way it was made. And Dan understands that.
Let's just talk about this 32-page novel. We rebuilt the engine, the manifolds, the transmission, the differential, the steering, the suspension, literally went through every single system line by line. And in the end, what I think we're giving to you is a car far straighter than anything Ford and Shelby produced in 69 or 70, and is just breathtakingly beautiful.
I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
So, what did that take? 2,250 hours, probably about half of which was just dealing with the corrosion, and almost exactly $50,000 in parts to put together your 32-page invoice and one incredibly beautiful 70 Shelby.
Well, I wanted it done right, and that's why I brought it here. My wife Tracy is here, and my son Aiden is here with me, and we want to see the car. We're pretty excited.
Let's go get him.
Wow.
Look at it,
Holy cow. That is phenomenal. Oh my God, that takes my breath away. I can't imagine that looked that good the day it sat on the showroom floor.
I virtually guarantee you it didn't.
Yeah, that's not my car, because what I dropped off had an awful lot of rust. It was a tired 1970 Shelby.
Let's just start here. Do you remember what was left of all that steel?
Not much.
Yeah, it really looks
Look at the
fantastic.
gaps, too.
Everything lines up the way that Ford wished they could have lined this stuff up.
It is perfect.
It really shines so nice, too.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the stainless on this. It's just perfect.
Those are actually your original Shelby center caps with the original wheels all redone. And now, the beast of an engine.
Cow.
Look at all the beautiful blue.
Holy cow. That is a monster.
Yep.
That is incredible.
Right now, you can pop your hood at any Shelby judged event.
And be comfortable.
Very, very proud of what you've got here.
Front to back, side to side. This is phenomenal. I believe some cars are worth saving. Really, I'm just the caretaker of this vehicle for the next however many years the good Lord gives me. And then my son, hopefully he'll have fun and enjoy it. Even in my wildest dreams, didn't think it would look this good. Now you've helped me realize a dream that I've been waiting on for 40 years, so this is pretty tremendous for me.
Right. Dennis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready, Aiden? Get ready. Yeah.
Hard not to smile for that. Accelerate, yeah. I can't wait.
Oh. Whoa!
This thing is unbelievable. Man, does this have pickup? I like the way everybody's staring at us as we go by.
That little girl just waved at you, Aiden.
This is the best car I have ever rode in.
I love it.
This is the best car you've ever rode in? This was well worth the time, the money. Look at the results.
Rick's 70 Hearst pace car had a disgusting hood and a crap load of problems. We reconstructed the hood, finishing it to perfection, and then killed all the Mopar gremlins, giving Rick a museum piece that will last generations. Dennis's Shelby arrived as a salt-eaten, high-mileage, rotted-out Hulk with amazing potential. We reconstructed the steel and fiberglass body, restored every mechanical system, and sourced critical missing components, making it to better than Concourse original. Dennis now owns a dream big block Shelby.